Hi folks! The next video is taking way longer than I assumed. I was expecting to have it out in March, but it ended up ballooning out of control. So until then, here's a video about a recent game I've been all up on. My life is intertwined with the Doom engine like strands of DNA. Doom 2 is one of the games I played a ton of on my old MacBook along with Duke Nukem 3D and Gary's mod, and I make a habit of checking in on the Kart Awards and Ramp every year to see what to play next. Sonic Robo Blast 2 is, unless I'm forgetting something else, the most popular Doom total conversion ever made that hasn't ever been sold commercially. At the very least, it's over 20 years old and still has an active community, and a lot of it is people outside of the general Doom sphere, which I think is really cool. I played it a ton before I even knew of its Doom roots, and to this day I still open it up sometimes to play the single player again or jump into a server and see whatever insane mods people have installed. It is genuinely up there in the top 5 3D Sonic games. 5 years ago, in November 2018, the world was introduced to a total conversion of a total conversion, with Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
People went wild for this on release, and days, weeks before the subject of this video came out, I still saw mods being made for it. There's even a mod for The Noise. Look at him go. Sick tricks, Noisy. I do like SRB2K a lot, and it's very impressive, but it never really won me over. Ask me and my bestie Roxy, and you'll hear it loud and clear, the best kart racer is Crash Team Racing. In SRB2K, all the characters feel so heavy, turns are so tight, and it's classic Mario Kart moments, except in Mario Kart, the game's at least easy and comebacks feel possible. In this, I just feel depressed. It's also just extremely bare bones. There's only time trials and multiplayer. No unlocks or anything, not even CPUs. I completely understand that's a mod, but it feels more like a tech demo, because it was one. Half a decade goes by, and after a combined 11 years of development, Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers hits the scene, and oh my god, this could be commercially sold. No, it should be commercially sold. If we lived in a sensible world, this would be on Steam. First off, Ring Racers. Now that's a punchy name. You can even call it Robotnik's Ring Racers. It's an alliteration. The story. Oh man, there's a story. Tails and Eggman have teamed up to put their brains together for a new project. Using the power of rings, they've created brand new vehicles powered by them for a reason. I haven't beaten the game yet. Maybe Eggman is using the power of the rings to get 7 rings and hands stuck in your head on loop forever. Now that would be evil. Now, as I go into this, I'm gonna put in a disclaimer. I'm going into here as a Sonic nerd. I've loved the series since I was young, and I still greatly enjoy it to this day. In fact, while I've been taking a pause to edit the next video, I have been going through every mainline Sonic game in order via live stream. So, you're getting this as someone who is gaga for this series? So cool. There's so many references across the entire series. The style is clearly evoking the classic era, but no matter when you grew up, you're gonna be drooling by minute 5. They have the perfect mix of original locales and concepts that perfectly fit within the style, mixed with genuinely fun callbacks. It isn't just, look, it's a Green Hill Zone. No, motherfucker, that's Green Hill Zone from Sonic 2 on the Game Gear. That's Regal Ruin from Sonic R. Emerald from Sonic Battle is here! I love Sonic Battle. It's terrible. I should make a video on it. For some reason though, his voice sounds like Bill Cipher. But not like actual Bill Cipher, like a YouTube comic dub Bill Cipher. Does anyone else hear this? This is genuinely the ultimate Sonic racing game, to the point that I honestly think even Sonic Team couldn't compete with this. Like, the best option is to try an on-foot racing game again, which I would personally love. I know a lot of people would. I'm gonna put the nerding out on hold for a bit to talk about the actual game, which is, No,
please wait! No, please, have mercy!
I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated this the first day I played it. I could barely tell what was going on, there were a million mechanics, the tutorial took longer than it took me to write this section of the video, that's not even a huge exaggeration, and I was getting bodied, or as the community is taking a liking to saying, I got carded. I was fully ready to stop playing, but I really wanted to like it. The presentation won me over. It looked so incredibly well made, but I just couldn't get used to the controls and I felt so overwhelmed. Until I remembered another beautiful looking game that I really wanted to enjoy but couldn't get used to the controls and felt overwhelmed until I took a deep breath, gave it a second chance, and now I have over 300 hours in it. From there, it immediately clicked. I let all the things it taught me just sit in the back of my mind as I calmed myself, drank some water, ate some fine dining, organized some spreadsheets, and I got to doing what I do best. Let muscle memory overtake me. My memory is horrible, but my muscle memory is off the charts. Once I reach that state where I can stop paying attention and just go with the flow, it's like I've become one with the universe. I hit that with Pizza Tower, and with God as my witness, I will do it for Rain Racers. Once you actually get into a couple of races and understand the mechanics, it isn't as out of control as the tutorial might make you think. For the most part, it's very similar on a base level to Mario Kart. Specifically, I would describe it as a much better Super Mario Kart, with the main gimmick being the rings. Holding down L2, or whatever this dumb control scheme tells you L2 is, makes you spend rings to bump up your acceleration. You can get more around the level in an item boxes and you lose rings and you get hit. Simple, right? And it is a very fun resource management mechanic of using rings at the right time to keep your speed, but here's the problem: you need rings. Not for every course, but there are segments where you literally need rings. In some courses like Storm Rig, it's not too big a deal since there are dash panels throughout, but I get war flashbacks to this segment in Marble Garden. There is the spin dash, which can give you a huge boost, and you can skip these sections with this ring warp, but every single time it hurts my soul to do these. Quick message from future me. I wrote this script only a couple days after Rain Racers came out, and I played it a lot more since I wrote the script. So a lot of these issues that I have are like not a problem anymore because I'm good at the game. Yeah, rings are a fun mechanic. I like the mechanic. It makes the game interesting. That part in Marble Garden is still cock and ball torture though. That's not even the tip of the iceberg though, because there's also 4 levels of drift boost you can achieve, a melee attack only for when you have no rings, like 20 something items, multiple characters that all have their own stats, free countdown position section that's actually a really cool idea, capsules that contain specific items, gates that you have to be in the middle of a speed boost to access, an entire trick system, a ground pound. Did I mention the items because almost every single one has multiple uses, a ranking system, special stages that require you to get rings, bonus stages that also have rankings, a live system straight from Super Mario Kart, and if you get crossed up in the middle of a race, if you miss up one of these systems, you get carded. This might just be my bias, but Sonic Riders is another Sonic racing game with a high skill ceiling, but that game felt a lot more intuitive. Once someone explains the basic mechanics to you, it starts to really click and it's really fun. This takes a little longer for that, but it's not too bad. Here's some advice for newer players that I think can help. Number 1, easy mode. When they say this mode is designed for newcomers, they meant it. Swallow your pride and just do it. The only difference is that some unlocks are tied to difficulty and you can't go to the special stages, but you don't need to worry about that on your first time through. Number 2, this is not Mario Kart. The handling is very much different, and especially the drifting is much more skill based. In Mario Kart, pro players are basically always drifting to keep getting turbo boosts, but in this game, drifting in a bad place actually causes you to lose speed. Be smart about it, don't go for risky plays you can't do. Number 3, take the L. You are probably going to get 2nd or 3rd place in most races, especially in the later cups. Let it happen, use it to learn. Number 4, boost items are a gift from God and you must use them wisely. The sneakers, the invincibility, the Reddit upvote, these are rare resources that you need to be smart about your use of. There are these gates through the track that can only be broken by entering this high speed state indicated by this visual effect, and they're big shortcuts that can really help you, but only if you can actually get inside them. First place doesn't get any of these items, not even a single sneaker, so treat them like the holy relic they are. Number 5, be smart with rings. You can definitely spam them if there are rings nearby or you just got a box of them, but when you're in a bad spot without them, it can cause a man to Kubrick stare a hole into their monitor. Smarter players than me can definitely give much better advice, but those are the things I had to teach myself. I have yet to hit the full Zen state, but I have beaten every cup and I'm trying to get the Chaos Emeralds. Oh yeah, the Chaos Emeralds. Having a total of 50 rings at the end of a cup will allow you to I fucking hate these. There's this little race course, right? And you have to get to the end of it, right? Wrong. Because there's also this claw machine with an emerald inside of it. You have to smash this so many times, and it's so precise. If it was like 25% slower, this would be infinitely more manageable. But I just barely scraped past the first special stage, and I have no idea how to do the second one. And there's one for every emerald? Ah! Oh, a patch came out while I was editing this. Let me take a look here. I will defend ring racers. It's certainly difficult, but for the most part it is actually very comfortable in difficulty as long as you don't bite off more than you can chew. Go through on easy mode, try and just beat the cups first, then go back and work on yourself, getting better game feel as you slowly become a master. However, as someone that beat the game, beat every cup, and is currently getting the Chaos Emeralds, there are some things that I think are just actively unfair and hurt the game. First off, they fixed all my issues, I had to cut this segment. Okay, no more complaining, let's talk positives, because despite the flaws, this is an extremely well put together game. If you're a Sonic fan of any era, although especially Genesis to Heroes era, you will eat this the hell up. There's characters from across the entire franchise, incredible deep cut track choices, beautiful new environments that feel right at home in this aesthetic, and so many little nods. I'm a competitive Sonic the Fighters player, so it's safe to say when I saw a battle level based on SBO's stage from that game, I got really giddy. And Bark himself is here, and he has Alex's voice from Third Strike. I also noticed the parry sound from Third Strike is used as well. Some EX2 music, so maybe these guys are just big Street Fighter nerds. There's an entire cup that is just the competition levels from Sonic 3. How many of you knew about Azure Lake? How many of you knew about Trap Goddamn Tower from Sega Sonic the Hedgehog? How many of you knew about Joypolis? Not Joyopolis, Joypolis. The area used in promo art for a Sega magazine in the 90s. That has a level and it's one of my favorites. My only issue is that it very much leans towards the classic era, and I would have liked seeing more modern areas converted into that style. Although I understand why, and just personal preference in the developers and all that stuff. My overall wish list would be something like Dragon Road, Eggman Land, Aquarium Park, Lost World, Asteroid Coaster, Null Space, Honeycomb Havoc, Pyramid Cave, Aquatic Base, Final Rush, Mystic Mansion, Final Fortress. And I also would have liked to see Cyberspace from Frontiers, but that came out during the game's development, so I totally understand the lack of representation. But speaking of representation, it's not just Sonic. A ton of other Sega characters are here as cameos. Billy Hatcher, Echo the Dolphin, and I haven't found him yet, but somebody online was playing as Vector Man. I haven't unlocked every character, but I'm really hoping they have Zodic the Hellhog from Illbleed here. This is an official Dreamcast exclusive where you fight an evil demonic Sonic. I would have also liked to see a battle arena based off Illbleed the Park, or maybe a racetrack based off Ban Bellow's Mansion, but take what you can. I love Illbleed so much it deserves its own video. Oh right, the battle maps! I haven't really played much of battle mode itself, but they show up in the Grand Prix little mini-games and they're pretty fun, although some of them become tests of my patience. This power plant from Heroes, the CD special stages, Wood! The world map from Sonic Crackers, which is up there for one of the deepest cuts, and No!
Should be plenty.
My favorite tracks in the game are Storm Rig, Lost Colony, Withering Chateau, Joypolis, Gust Planet, City Escape, Azure Axiom, Speed Highway, and Hardboiled Stadium. Gust Planet might be my favorite, and I have to sit on it a lot more. It's just ridiculously fun and the difficulty feels perfect. Apart from some sections that feel Sisyphean if you're hit during them, I think the track design is certainly extremely solid and there's so many of them. I'm serious when I say this should be officially sold. It's largely the most actual racing games. But what helps the game most of all is Unlockables! Yes! Unlock Bros win! I have a terminal brain parasite where my favorite thing in the world is spending 1,000,000 hours in a multiplayer game against CPUs unlocking everything. Imagining my friends coming over and me showing them my 100% save file so they can play as anyone they want in any track they want. It's set up like Kirby Air Ride's challenge grid with unlocking something showing you the conditions for unlocking other stuff around it. You get these shout keys from beating challenges and cups and stuff, but if something sounds like something you'd rather die than try to do, you can use it to reap the rewards. I love this. Fan games really skimp out on the secrets and unlockables when they really make a game feel more massive than it actually is. There's a ton of secrets, like in Emerald Coast, if you go off the beaten path, you can find Froggy and get him as a little partner, and it's so cute. My main ended up being Metal Knuckles. I'm sorry, Metal Sonic Bros, I am normally one of you, but I found a new love. There's just a bunch of weird funny stuff in this, like a cup called the Mega Cup that's entirely mega levels, which I think the joke is that these are retro tracks from a game that doesn't exist. The actual Las Vegas from real life is a track for some reason. And that's not even my favorite weird secret in this game. I'm not telling you the funniest ones. I love this game so much. Something else that I really commend is the soundtrack. It's my favorite type of soundtrack, where it's a fan game so most of the music is stolen, but they know when to bust out the originals. It has a salty bit quality of introducing you to some absolutely godlike obscure VGM. There's some bangers in here that come from the most random game, like hell yeah man, Hot Wheels music, and is that the Dalai Lama I hear? It's so funny knowing that music producers at the same program that I do. God, what a good game. I just want to play more of it. I have an addiction, dude, straight up. I'll say, okay, I'm just gonna do this, and then I black out, I have 4 more hours in the game. Who the fuck are you? When did I unlock you? Despite my complaints, this is one of the best racing games ever made. Reading the developer patches, you can see how extremely intentional every decision is, and I generally stick by the choices they made. Rain Racers is Rain Racers, and I want it to be Rain Racers. That was always my problem with SRB2 Kart, and why I'm never really going back to it. It just felt like a worse Mario Kart with funny mods where I can beat the nostalgia critic. This is a home run. I am absolutely hooked, and I deeply commend the Kart Krew, all of them. If any of them are watching, dude, take a drink of your choice, get in your jammies, and let yourself relax, because by God, you've earned it. Okay, I think that's about it. Sorry for the long wait between videos. I have another one in the works. It's currently about 35 minutes edited, and it's most likely going to be over an hour. If you want to make that come quicker, give me your money. There's no real reward system set up, but I'll put your name in the end and if you shoot me some dollars. Shoutouts to this guy, 5% Soup Burns, who gave me $500 to make the Gabri movie, which I said was me smashing sculptures with a hammer for 3 hours. I guess I now have to work on that after the next video. Alright, see ya.
Also, 2 people made this thumbnail, and one of them made a game, and it's called Shut Island. It's pretty good. You can go play it.